Yeah, we made it in just fine throughout the day. Certainly we are excited to be here. Want to thank certainly the Cotton Bowl Chairman Carl Ice was there last night, got a chance to fire up the troops, talk to the team. He awarded me with I don't know if it's customary, but a 10-gallon hat, which I readily accepted as I went over and got my cowboy boots. So I feel as a Texan today. We're excited. Rick Baker has been with us, the president and CEO. I want to thank him, but I know our guys feel very comfortable. We're in a great hotel, the Gaylord, so just first-class accommodations. And again, we're excited about getting into a routine now that we've gotten settled in. You know, it's really for us now to get into a game week mode and kind of flip it into, you know, our preparation.
Coach, please introduce your two student athletes. Most everyone here knows them, but there may be a few folks who do not.
Well, first and foremost, they are two graduates of Notre Dame. Both of them have degrees in engineering. Both of them are captains. Drew Tranquil, linebacker, and Sam Mustafer, offensive center. So very proud of both of them as graduates of Notre Dame in a very challenging academic degree as engineering, and both captains for. So great football players, but extraordinary individuals.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go to questions for our student athletes. Just raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you.
Not all at once now.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News for Sam. Just curious what you've seen on film about the challenge that the Clemson defensive line presents, and also could you talk about how your offensive line came together this year after losing some key personnel from last year?
Absolutely. You know, Clemson's got a big athletic front. They've shown that on film, the ability to move, get off blocks, and make a lot of plays. It's going to be a challenge for us, and we understand that. It's just going back to the fundamentals and basics.
And how you guys came together. How you guys came together this year after losing so much talent from last year?
You know, we have a standard of Notre Dame offensive line play that it's been here long before I got here, long before those guys who moved on last year got here. And we take pride in what we do, and we understand guys on Saturdays who've played here before are watching us. And we go out there every weekend and we give it the best we have.
Drew, one for you from someone who sent it in to us. Talk about the defense. You guys were, top 10 in both defense and pass efficiency defense. What has been the key to the success of the defensive unit this year?
I mean, I think it starts up front with our defensive line and their ability to get pressure on the quarterback, and then just playing sound in the back end. But I got to give the kudos to the D-line. We're deep there, and they've been able to get pressure on the quarterback all year, and, they can make average linebackers look great. But, we're good all across the board, and they've done a great job getting pressure up front, and then we've held up in the back end with a lot of good talent and execution.
Okay, at this point, we'll hang on in the back.
Drew, Carter Carls with the South Bend Tribune. How different is the feeling? You get the hype all month kind of for this game. How different is it when you finally get to Dallas and Texas? And how have you kind of seen the young guys respond from all this?
Yeah, I didn't get in until last night at about 9:30 on the team charter, so we're fairly fresh here in Dallas, but it's been great. Guys are locked in and ready to practice this morning, and we'll get to enjoy ourselves this evening at the comedy show and get to spend some time with our families. But we're kind of all business right now. Gotta go have a good practice and get after it.
Okay, on the left.
Jory Epstein with USA Today. Drew, coming here a day after Jalen Smith had a pretty big day in the stadium yesterday. What do you think that means for Notre Dame linebackers, and how do you want to continue the legacy this weekend?
Yeah, Jalen's a good friend of mine, both from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and grew up training with him. And so to see him have a big game yesterday was awesome, and just to see him come back from, what he did was truly inspiring. And so we got to get out there and run around like he does and make plays all over the field for our team. And certainly hope to see him this week and get to catch up with him. But great guy and great player.
On the right.
For both Drew and Sam, was there a game, a moment, any time where you started thinking that this could be a real special year for Notre Dame during the course of the season, or even before the start of the season?
I think what makes this team special is that we just took it one day and one practice at a time, and we took it one game at a time. So we really didn't look too far ahead, and we understand that, you know, if we go out there and we do what we need to do on Saturdays, that it was going to be an opportunity for us that was going to be there.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I made the decision to come back, you know, last December, and I knew we had the pieces. It was just a matter of execution at that point. And so, you know, when we got into fall camp and I saw the way our defense was executing, you know, 11 as one, we weren't really playing as individuals. We were kind of playing cohesively together. I knew we had a special thing going there defensively, and then, you know, watching our offense just get after it against Michigan and then just transition quarterbacks like it was nothing. You know, that's a special unit over there. And so, you know, defensively, it was in fall camp. I was like, we got this thing, and then offensively, they just continue to prove themselves and be great each and every week.
All right, at this point, we'll let Sam and Drew get ready for practice, and we will continue with questions for Coach Kelly.
And I think that I'm the one who should go to practice. These guys are awesome. I want to sit here and listen to them. Next, guys.
Brian, it's kind of interesting that both these teams are undefeated and both made quarterback changes during the course of the season. Talk about what went into your move to go to Ian and all the factors. You obviously unbeaten at the time, but what factored into it, and what kind of development have you seen from him since he took over that job?
Yeah, so, you know, I've spoke on this a number of times. You know, we felt like, you know, offense was coming to us, but there was a lot of work that needed to be done for it to come to us in terms of we had to play a complete game, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. And, you know, even though we had won our first 3 games, I think in one of the games we played defensively over 90 snaps. And so there was a lot of work going into it. So as we evaluated moving forward, we felt like Ian would give us the best shot at winning each and every week that we played, and doing it with more efficiency. So it was a matter of looking at it from much more of a overall perspective of how it would affect our entire team, not just the offense. Because Brendan, you know, won a lot of games as a starter, so it wasn't about just winning games on offense, but it was for the entire football team. And then I think where Ian's grown is just game situations, you know, settling into the game, making game adjustments, getting a feel for the game, all the things that you would expect somebody that was a first-year starter that he needed. And so he's gained that game-like experience where you can make some adjustments and he picks up on it and is able to execute. I think that's where we've seen the growth.
On the right.
Coach, I know sometimes for these bowl games, some people don't show up because of academic reasons or injuries and such. Do you think everyone will be available for this weekend's game?
Yeah, this is not a bowl game. I mean, this is a bowl. It's sponsored by the Cotton Bowl, but this is a playoff game. And so all the players that are here are eligible to play. And so we took everybody. So we don't have anybody that's not eligible to play. We do have one injury update. Dylan Gibbons had a fracture in his foot during practice, and he had surgery, so he will not play. He wasn't going to play anyway. He was being redshirted, but yeah, we have no issues relative to academics. We don't have anybody that is not playing because of their NFL aspirations, or any injuries that may have occurred during, you know, the last couple of practices.
And how would you say Myron has, I guess, progressed over the last few weeks?
Been very impressed. I think he's capable of playing and playing well. Now, sometimes you get a player back and maybe he can give you a few snaps here. I think he can play, and I think he can play well for us.
In the center.
Can you talk a little bit about Drew's journey throughout his time from safety to linebacker and what you've seen from him this year and how he's grown while you've been coach?
Yeah, so he's actually made 2 position changes. He started at safety. tore his ACL, had to fight through that. Then we moved him to Rover, tore his other ACL, fought through that, and we moved him to linebacker. So his journey has been amazing in terms of injuries, overcoming injuries, just an amazing, just off the field, on the field, what he's been able to do. He's now married. He's got a child on the way. He's just, he's everything that you want in this business relative to coaching. You know, just a mentor to our players, a great leader, somebody that overcame adversity through his career here, and a great representative of our university as a great student. So, you know, that's the mold, right? That you'd want. You know, you get a guy like Drew Tranquil, and sometimes it's almost where he had to really grow is that he wasn't believable in a sense, almost. You know, here's a 4.0, clearly, you know, student, maybe not quite a 4.0, but that kind of student, and almost guys couldn't identify with him because he was this guy that they just couldn't live up to. I mean, but this year, he just became so much more of a mentor to our other players that, you know, somebody asked the question, when did you know that you were going to have a special team? I knew we were going to have a special team when Drew Tranquil was able to reach everybody in our locker room. Because when you have a guy like that that can reach every player, he's going to impact them all.
And when